This is Kathy Biehl of Empowermentunlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of March 12th, 2018. Here's the week's story arc. We start with hitting a wall, hitting the need for some kind of structure or constraint in something that's very important to us. Could be a relationship, could be a money issue, could be a connection, a goal, something that we're trying to make happen in our lives. Maybe we get no, maybe there's a need to commit, maybe there's a need to bring some kind of structure and form to it. By the very end of the weekend, we trot ahead step by step by step by step to make it so. Now, of course, it's not going to seem that simple while we're living it out because it comes with, at the beginning, a sense of urgency, maybe anxiety, maybe discomfort with what it is that we want, but we want it and we keep wanting it and we dream bigger and bigger, but we're just a little bit uncomfortable with the concept that, well, what do I do if I get it? So there's something worth examining. There's a difference between wanting something and being able to actually receive and embrace it. Play with that one. And gradually opening ourselves to much more expansive ways of expressing ourselves, opening ourselves to opportunity, lucky breaks, things just sort of happening. That will really be the result of work that we have been doing. It'll feel like it's a payday or a godsend or winning the lottery. This is energetically, probably not financially sorry, but it is a natural and organic growth of optimism, growth of possibility, growth of new and bigger and broader contours for what your life can be. And then remember the end of the weekend, going out and getting it, beginning it. Whatever you can dare to dream, do it. That quote that's attributed to Goethe that really probably isn't from him, boldness and genius and magic, just do it. But before we hit that part, we have the new moon in Pisces, which is one complicated mix indeed. Not a lot of bodies remaining in Pisces at this time, but the sun and the moon are closing in on Chiron at the end of the sign, which is really uncomfortable territory in the zodiac. This is where we are most connected with each other. The final degree of Pisces, before we get to the Aries point, is called the degree of ultimate sorrow, possibly because it does connect everyone and everything in existence. With Chiron heading there, issues and wounds and sponge-like abilities are circling back around, things that we have dealt with forever and ever and ever and ever. And oh God, we wish we would get it out of our lives. But it keeps showing itself one way or another. These things are coming up. There may be something to do with what we sacrifice, how we treat the less strong, the more vulnerable and weak in our society. And with action hero Mars pushing on all this water, we could act very precipitously, impulsively. There could be legal ramifications for it. And it could be that the weakest and most vulnerable among us continue to rise up and say, nope, not going to do it. I find it fascinating that teenagers are leading the way politically in the United States right now. In the late 60s and early 70s, teenagers and college students took to the streets, spearheaded protests, and one way you can connect these two movements is basically the younger generation standing up to the oldest generation and saying, don't kill us. But I digress. Really, what's most important for you is how this affects you personally. So if you've been feeling out of sorts, feeling sorrowful, having cause you can actually point to for nostalgia or sentimentality or, unfortunately, sorrow. I've been seeing and hearing a terrific amount of heartbreak in the last couple of days before I record this. Whether that's been your experience or not, there has been, for most of us, an increasing awareness of what other people are going through, an inability to escape what other people are going through, particularly if you're on social media, and moments when weeping just comes easily. This is the last new moon of the winter in the northern hemisphere, the summer in the southern hemisphere. Spring comes very soon, or rather the equinox, comes very soon, early next week on the 20th. So look at this new moon experience as a dunking and immersion, the beginning of a process to transmute pain and sorrow, to come up with different ways of coexisting in the sea of life. And maybe, just maybe, changing our relationship with some of those late degree Pisces issues, boundarylessness, compassion, forgiveness, empathy. Do note that the new moon falls on St. Patrick's Day, which means the bars are going to be filled with people who really, really, really want to escape into a fantasy land, and of course, mugs of beer. Just be forewarned. The homing thought of the week: behave as if the God in all life matters. Song of the week, I have two, Rainy Night in Georgia by Brooks Benton. How long has it been since you've heard of it, if you ever have? And the other one is Do Ya? Two versions, original recipe by The Move and extra crispy version by Electric Light Orchestra. And the image of the week is soaking in a warm tub in a cool room and gradually becoming aware that the temperature in the water is dropping and getting uncomfortable. And that eventually you're going to need to get out and step into that, oh wait, what is it? Chilled air. You'll find more about all of this in my forecast for the Pisces new moon, which is already up at my site, Empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. Talk to you next week.